Hello, it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the introductions of an emergency measure to tackle rising prices for the essential goods. For the international scene in Oman, heavy rains and flash floods, tragic deaths, and amid the fury of the elements. Welcome to our newsroom. The Unified Democratic Center officially launched its 2026 presidential campaign with its first major rallies in Tajura in the north of the country. Under the rallying slogans, "Another Djibouti is possible." Through this initial show of force, the party affirmed its commitment to establishing itself as a credible alternative on the national political scene. Founded on the values of reforms and social justice and democratic renewal, the CDU is pursuing a political vision focused on the balanced development of the regions, improving citizens' living conditions, and strengthening governance. This positioning is fully reflected in the campaign of its 2026 presidential candidate, Mohamed Farah Samatar. Arriving in the mornings aboard the ferry Mohammed Ali Gadlif, Mohamed Farah Samatar was enthusiastically welcomed by local party officials and a large crowd of supporters. This mobilization demonstrates the CDU's growing presence in the Tajoras regions and the increasing interest in its political platform in the White City. The CDU candidate was carried by a massive crowd from all corners of the region, illustrating the popular support for his message. Through his close ties with the citizens and his focus on change, Mohamed Farah Samatar intends to embody a new political dynamic and offer an alternative to traditional practices. This first rally in Tajura thus constitutes a strong signal sent by the CDUs and its candidate determined to play a major role in the 2026 presidential elections and to convince the Djiboutian people that a different future is possible. The Unified Democratic Centers officially launched in the Tajoras regions under the rallying slogan, "Another Djibouti is possible." Through this initial show of force, the party affirmed its commitment to establishing itself as a credible alternative on the national political scene. Mohamed Farah Samatar was enthusiastically welcomed by the local party officials and a large crowd of supporters. This mobilization demonstrates the CDU's growing presence in the Tajoras regions and the increasing interest in its political platform in the White City. The CDU candidate was carried up by a massive crowd from all corners of the region, illustrating the popular support for his message through his close ties with the citizens and his focus on change. The candidate intends to embody a new political dynamic and offer an alternative to traditional practices founded on the values of reforms, social justice, and democratic renewal. The CDU is pursuing a political vision focused on the balanced development of the regions, improving citizens' living conditions, and strengthening governance. This positioning is fully reflected in the campaign of its 2026 presidential candidate, Mohamed Farah Samatar. This first rally in Tajura thus constitutes a strong signal sent by the CDUs and its candidate determined to play a major role in the 2026 presidential election. For his part, the candidate's spokesperson, Abdulqadir Umar Hussein, held a joint press conference alongside the campaign team following the rally. During this address, he presented a detailed report on the gathering organized in the regional capital, highlighting the strong voters' turnout and the enthusiasm observed on the ground. The spokesperson also emphasized the initial commitments announced by the candidates, stressing their concrete natures and their alignment with the expectations expressed by local populations. Finally, he reaffirmed that the campaign team's commitment to maintaining these momentums in the coming stage. by pursuing a strategy of close engagement and active listening throughout the region. For his part, Abdallah Abdullahi Miguel, campaign manager for candidate Ismail Omar Gelle, officially launched the Union for the Presidential Majority campaign across the country. Following the candidate's first major rally in the Dakhel region, the focus is now on assessing this initial phase, which the campaign team considers crucial. According to the manager, this inaugural meeting demonstrated the scale of citizen mobilizations and gauged the public support for the candidate's political platform. Abdallah Abdullahi Miguel emphasized that this first outing sent a strong signal to all campaign stockholders, confirming the momentum and enthusiasm observed in various localities. He also stressed the importance of this initial phase in strengthening the bond between the candidate and voters while establishing the priority that will guide the electoral program in the coming weeks. Finally, he reiterated that the objective of this campaign is to remain as close as possible to citizens to respond to their concrete expectations. In the implementations of the directives of the President of the Republic aimed at ensuring the availability of food supplies in market and protecting citizens' purchasing power, the Djiboutian Chamber of Commerce held a consultative meeting yesterday, Thursday, to examine the impact of regional development on the import of essential goods into the country. The meeting was chaired by the Minister of Trade and Tourism, Mohamed Warsama Diriye, in the presence of the President of the Djibouti Chamber of Commerce, Yusuf Moussa Dawale, along with key economic stakeholders, importers, and representatives of vital sectors. Participants reviewed the current situation in local market and explored ways to address rising prices of essential commodities. During the meeting, the establishment of a crisis committee was announced. The committee will be responsible for daily monitoring of essential goods prices, collecting data from local markets and suppliers, and submitting regular reports to the relevant authorities to ensure timely decision-making and rapid response to any market disruptions. For his part, the President of the Chamber of Commerce called for strengthening strategic reserves of essential goods, diversifying import sources to reduce dependence on crisis-affected market, and intensifying market oversight to prevent monopolies and speculations. This initiative forms a part of the government's proactive efforts to stabilize the local market and shield citizens from the global economic fluctuation. In his remark, the Minister of Trade, Mohamed Warsama Diriye, emphasized the importance of coordination between the public and private sectors to ensure market stability. He affirmed that the government is closely monitoring the situation and implementing preventive measures to avoid any shortage of essential goods. He further stressed that strict punitive measures will be taken against a trader found guilty of price manipulation or hoarding, as part of effort to protect the citizens' purchasing power and ensure transparency in commercial transactions alongside intensified field inspection campaign. Now listen to the participant.
My mother here, who's in the import of general food and goods. So we were invited here today to take part of a meeting to address the Middle East crisis. So, and how that will impact our imports, our taxes, and other goods in general. So I'm really happy with the meeting and the answers that we got. All our questions were actually answered, and for the further questions that we have, we were invited to partake into a small group or a small group to address those questions that we may have. And the most important question for us as importers was the taxes, the impacts that it has on the shipping of our containers, and all that includes all the other stuff. So all these questions were answered, and I'm happy with the answers. And I will say that it is a momentarily like small stepping stone, and I believe in my country, and I believe that we will surpass that in the future.
As part of the effort to promote active citizenship and strengthen democratic participation, the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hiba Momin Asobe, today presided over an official ceremony to distribute kits containing reflective vests and loudspeakers to community development center managers at the ministry headquarters. This initiative is part of the national mobilization campaign aimed at encouraging voters' registration, a crucial step in enabling citizens to fully exercise their electoral rights. The equipment provided will enable community center teams to intensify awareness campaign across neighborhoods, informing residents about how to obtain voter cards and encouraging them to fulfill their civic duty within the designated time frame. Through this initiative, the ministry aims to significantly increase voters' registration rates by addressing information gaps and strengthening collective awareness of the importance of civic participation. In her address, the minister highlighted the central role of Community Development Center in disseminating awareness messages and supporting grassroots activities. She reaffirmed that electoral participation is a cornerstone of any democracy and stressed the need of bringing citizens closer to the electoral process. She praised the commitment of community center managers and urged them to adopt innovative, community-focused approaches in their outreach efforts, emphasizing that voting is not only a right but a civic duty. In a move to strengthen friendship and cooperation between Djibouti and the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, diplomatic relations were officially established following the signing of a joint statement by Djibouti's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Mohammed Ziad Douale, and his counterpart. These decisions reflect the shared commitment of both countries to enhance cooperative and mutual understanding in line with the principles of sovereignty, equality between states, and non-interference in internal affairs. Both parties also reaffirmed their commitment to the principles of the United Nations Charter, international law, and the promotions of global peace, security, and stability. A new project aimed at strengthening the capacity of the Civil Protection Department was signed yesterday as its headquarters in cooperation with the Japan International Cooperation Agency. The day began with a meeting between the Japanese delegation and senior judicial officials, including the Director General of Civil Protection, Colonel Mahmoud Musa Mahmoud, and the Secretary General of the Ministry of Interior, Suleiman Mumin Roble. The delegation then toured civil protection facility to assess equipment and emergency response needs. The visit concluded with a signing ceremony for the project, which includes the provisions of fire engines, ambulances, and heavy transport vehicles for casualty. The initiatives will enhance public safety in Djibouti City as well as in the regions of Dakhel and Tajura. The project represents a major step towards improving the effectiveness and responsiveness of the civil protection services during emergencies. JICA representative Kishiro Yuaza stated that the project reflects Japan's commitment to supporting Djibouti in strengthening its emergency response capabilities, enabling faster and more efficient interventions.
We are here as a preparatory survey for the firefighting and rescue equipment grant aid. So JICA and the Japanese government has cooperated for Djibouti government before for firefighting vehicle in 1999 and 2014. And we find that both of the equipment and vehicles are well maintained and effectively utilized to save the life of Djiboutian people. And we got requests for the phase 3 for firefighting and rescue vehicle and equipment. We would like to support Djiboutian effort to upgrade your capacity for saving people by improving your facilities for firefighting and rescue. And we received we confirm the request from Djiboutian side, and I will make a feasibility, check the feasibility and report to the Japanese government.
The Director General of Civil Protection, Colonel Mahmoud Musa Mahmoud, was warmly welcomed the newly established partnership with the Japan International Cooperation Agency (JICA), describing it as a major milestone for the country's emergency response capabilities. He emphasized that the collaboration will significantly enhance the operational capacity of civil protection teams, providing them with the modern fire engines, ambulances, and heavy transport vehicles to respond more efficiently to fires, accidents, and other emergencies. Colonel Mahmoud highlighted that these improvements will not only strengthen the safety of citizens in Djibouti City, but also in surrounding regions such as Dakhil and Tajura, ensuring a faster, more coordinated, and effective response whenever emergencies arise. He concluded by stressing that building resilient, well-equipped civil protection services is a strategic priority for the government, aimed at safeguarding lives and reinforcing public confidence in emergency services. For his part, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Interior, Suleiman Momin Roble, described the project as a decisive and forward-looking step towards improving public administration and strengthening security across the capital and key regional centers. He underlined that the initiative goes beyond simply providing equipment. It represents a strategic investment in governance, efficiency, and preparedness, ensuring that both administrative structures and operational teams are better equipped to handle emergencies and protect citizens. According to Roble, the project will enhance coordination between national and regional authorities, improve response times, and reinforce preventive measures. Official launch of the 2026 Presidential Cup in Tajura, an initiative of Afleta. This after marks the official launch of the first editions of the Presidential Cup, an initiative spearheaded by the associations in collaboration with the Regional Subdirectorate, the State Secretary for Sports. And the event took place in the solemn yet convivial atmosphere. This competition is part of a broader effort to promote sports, social cohesion, and youth development. On this occasion, the youth reaffirmed their unwavering support for the President of the Republic of Djibouti while expressing their gratitude for the numerous initiatives undertaken to develop the country. Special mentions go to Mr. Barry, President of the Organizing Committee for the 2026 President's Cup in Djibouti. On Wednesday, March 25, 2026, the resident representative of the United Nations Development Programme in Djibouti, Alexandra Rocasalvo, paid a courtesy visit to the region of Obok. She was received by the prefect of the region, Musa Adam Migane, and the president of the regional council, Muhammad Humada Ismail. The discussion is focusing on development challenges in the regions. The visit included a meeting with the Obok Regional Councils, where discussion is centered on strengthening cooperation, particularly in waste management, water scarcity, and environmental protection. The representative of the UNDP, Alessandra Rocasalvo, received by the President of the Regional Council, Muhammad Humada Ismail. This visit included a meeting with the Obok Regional Council, where discussion is centered on strengthening cooperation, particularly in waste management, water scarcity, and environmental protection. The President of the Obok Regional Council, Muhammad Humada Ismail, on behalf of the Obok Regional Council, I would like to express our gratitude to Ms. Roca Salvo and the UNDP for their continued support and their presence here with us today. Our discussion has highlighted the importance of developing concrete solutions to local challenges, particularly in the areas of waste management, water, and environment. We are proud of projects such as the Plastic Recycling Center and the Future Thermal Spa, which demonstrate our commitment to innovation while creating sustainable economic opportunities for our communities. This visit reinforces our determination to work in partnership with the UNDP and other stakeholders to improve the quality of life of our citizens and ensure balanced and environmentally responsible development. For her part, UNDP representative Alexandra Rocasalvo said, I am particularly honored to be in Obok today and to witness the commitment of the local authorities to sustainable development and responsible resource management. Our visit aims to strengthen cooperation with the Regional Council to address the major challenges facing the regions, including waste management, water scarcity, and environmental protection. We are confident that these initiatives, combined with innovative projects such as plastic recycling for paving stone production and the future thermal spa projects, will create new economic opportunities for the local population while promoting sustainable and inclusive development. UNDP reaffirms its commitment to supporting the regions in these endeavors, sharing expertise, resources, and strategic partnership to achieve tangible and lasting results. And at least the delegation of the UNDP representative toured to visit the plastic recycling facilities producing paving materials, highlighting the region's commitment to sustainable development, as well as planning the thermal spa project aimed at boosting local economic opportunities. For the international scene, Iranian missile strike Israel, causing significant damage. Iran continues to launch missiles towards Israeli territories, targeting both military and civilian areas, forcing millions to repeatedly seek shelter, despite Israel's air defense system intercepting many projectiles. Some have struck their targets, causing material damage and civilian injuries. These attacks have significantly disrupted daily life, affecting economic activities, public services, and increasing compensation claims for damages. Major cities such as Tel Aviv and Haifa have been impacted. The situation highlights the fragility of the regional security and the direct toll of military conflict on civilian populations. Heavy rain and deadly floods in Oman. Heavy rainfall has recently hit the Sultanate of Oman, triggering severe flooding in several regions and prompting authorities to declare a state of high alert. A woman tragically died after being swept away by floodwaters in the town of Khasab in Musandam Governorate. Authorities have intensified rescue and evacuation operations while urging residents to avoid flood-prone areas and strictly follow safety guidelines. Flash floods remains a recurrent and dangerous phenomenon in Oman, particularly during periods of intense rainfall. And temporary reopening of the Torkham border crossing. Hundreds of Afghan refugees have gathered at the Torkham border crossing between Pakistan and Afghanistan following its temporary reopening. Since early hours, large crowds, including men, women, and children, have formed long many carrying only essential belongings, while some view the return as an opportunity to reconnect with their homeland. Others remain concerned about the uncertain conditions in Afghanistan. Humanitarian organizations have called for increased support to ensure safe and dignified returns, highlighting the complexity of managing refugee flows in the regions. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Listen for the special election campaign.